If the economy slows down, which it seems like it will, you're not going to be able to refinance your lunch. It sounds like a bit of a dream come true when you can get what you want right now, today, and then you don't have to worry about paying it until later, right? But what if I told you that the so-called buy now, pay later concept, it's quietly becoming one of the biggest debt traps of our generations. You're going to find it everywhere. Amazon, Nike, Apple, Grubhub even. Yeah, you can even finance a burrito at this point. And while it might seem harmless, the truth is far more dangerous. Today, what we're going to do is dive deep into the BNPL concept, where it came from, why it's spreading like wildfire, who's really profiting from it, and why you need to be extremely careful before clicking that tempting little button. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So what is BNPL? Buy now, pay later, or BNPL. It's a modern twist on installment payments. And instead of paying in full upfront, you can now break the cost into smaller payments, usually limited to about 4. That means no interest, no credit check. It's just a few clicks and boom, you've got what you want. And it sounds great, right? That's the trap. Let me give you a quick history of buy now, pay later. Back in the early 1900s, this concept was also a thing. Department stores offered installment plans for things like radios and refrigerators and other appliances. Now, fast forward to the 2008 financial crisis, and people simply lost trust in big banks. And tech startups moved in with these sleek apps and friendly financing. And then came 2020. The pandemic hits, online shopping explodes, and suddenly buy now, pay later became the go-to option for cash-strapped consumers and aggressive retailers. Now, why do retailers love this so much? Well, this is why every big brand is offering it. BNPL increases conversion rates by 20 to 30%. And cart sizes, they go up too, by 40% or more. This is huge, guys. So you're going to see BNPL at checkout with Amazon, with Apple, with Nike, with Walmart, with Peloton, even Grubhub, that you order at 11 p.m. So retailers are loving it because you're going to spend more money more often without even thinking twice. Here's the big danger for consumers. BNPL is not just a better credit card. It's loaded with landmines. Here's why. One, it's barely regulated at all. There's no standard disclosures. There's no real underwriting. These are not qualified people who are using it. Each BNPL loan is separate, so you might be juggling 4 or 5 different repayment schedules across multiple apps. Also, late fees. If you miss a payment, it can hurt your credit and you can get slapped with big penalties. It will also finally encourage people to impulse purchase. That $200 jacket now only costs $50 today, so it's easier to justify until those payments stack up. Lastly, it does lead to deeper debt. People tend to roll over payments, they stack their BNPL loans, or they use multiple providers in order to kind of stretch their limits. Now, let's talk real stats for a second, because there are real risks to this. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, 1 in 3 BNPL users are actually going to fall behind on payments, and over 60% of users say that they have spent more than they intended to because of it. These aren't just numbers, they're lives getting stretched thinner and thinner every single day. And really it boils down to a psychological warfare. BNPL plays this dangerous game. It taps into what's called present bias. We overvalue immediate gratification and then we ignore future consequences. You feel like you're saving money, but really you're just deferring the pain. Would you finance a cheeseburger over 6 weeks if I called it debt or someone else calls it a loan? Probably not. Well, welcome to Grubhub's BNPL program. And this is becoming a huge growing crisis, folks. US consumer debt just hit a record of $17.5 trillion. BNPL is adding billions to that number now. And Gen Z, they're the fastest growing users of this concept. Many of them have no idea how it's going to affect their credit, how it's going to affect future loan approvals, or even the ability to rent an apartment. If the economy slows down, which it seems like it will, you're not going to be able to refinance your lunch. So what is it that you're able to do? Here's how to stay safe. If you cannot afford it now, don't buy it. That goes for credit cards also. Use debit or a responsibly managed credit card. At least then you're going to have the fraud protection and the rewards points too, but you've got to pay them in full every month. and then build a small emergency fund. It's going to help you avoid falling back on that BNPL when life hits you harder. And then don't fall for these interest-free marketing scams. It's not going to be generosity. It is bait. So I guess I want to wrap this up by saying BNPL isn't evil, but it is being weaponized against vulnerable consumers. And in a world that rewards convenience over caution, we have to stay sharp out here. If you're already falling into this trap, don't beat yourself up from it. Learn from it, rebuild, and take your financial power back. If this video helped you, give it a like. Share it with somebody that you think might need to hear it. And of course, subscribe for more real money talk about business, and most importantly, talk about truly living free. We'll see you on the next one.